He's probably like legit my cousin.
Welcome to the War Scouts Basketball Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, named Cardinal. As always, I'm here with my boy, Michael Swampy. How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing excellent. We just finished our holidays and we're back in the full swing of things in 2025 name.
Yeah, crazy. Can't believe it.
Yeah, can you believe that, you know, when you won that Limelight Championship League, that was 10 years ago. Was that when it was?
No, that was like 13 years ago.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah, that was like 13 years ago. And that was like when we went on our trip to Seattle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, our little getaway.
Just a bros trip.
Yep. Good times, man. That was a good trip. Sports.
hmm My first that was when we went to an NFL game. I attended.
Hmm.
I don't know, was that your first NFL game? That was my first
Yeah.
NFL game.
Yeah, that was my first and only NFL game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm same here. Mine too.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy was we that was the first like even like preseason game, that was the first ever NFL game for Russell Wilson. So we watched that.
hmm
That was cool.
Russell Muscle and Bustle.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of getting off track here, but remember when we didn't even have tickets when we went to the game
Yeah.
and we just walked up to the stadium and like it was kickoff and then like some scalper guy was like, "You want to buy these tickets half price?" We're like, "Sure." And it was like $60 and we were like I think we were on row like 18 or something. Like we were really close to the field.
Yeah. And the people beside us were like, "Hey, how did you get those tickets?" Because
Yeah.
they're all season ticket holders that were surrounding us.
Yeah.
We're like, "Well, we kind of just bought it off the shady dude on the street."
Yeah. Know a guy.
Well, our original understanding was because I think we went to the Mariners game and we just bought tickets as soon as we arrived, and then we assumed the same thing for the NFL game.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
walk up to the ticket box.
yeah, and I can't remember if we even made it to the ticket box or not, but the guy just stopped us and we're like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah. Can you imagine if the tickets were like fake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just got duped.
Yeah. 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 You had a good break though? Like what'd you get up to?
Yeah, I had a great break. We had our Christmas dinners and that sort of thing with the family, and then wife and I we went out to Mexico, went to Cancun for a week, and I will say that traveling with a child who is 18 months, 19 months is highly overrated. I would not recommend it to anybody. Um, just stay home until they're five. That's the key. Yeah, but no, it was good. Ended up obviously got some sun, swam a little bit. Our little guy ended up getting sick, which was kind of unfortunate, but
Oh,
um, it was still a good time. Like just away from the mundane, right? You don't have to do all the cooking and that sort of stuff, which is really nice. So yeah, it was still refreshing, still a good getaway. And
that's good.
yourself?
Oh, it was really good. Really like just restful, man. Like I just like I love the like holiday break, like Christmas break. Just like shut down completely. And it, like the end of the term for me was hectic, man. Like I was starting to feel really burnt out. We were like we were doing some traveling um at the end of November and like beginning of December, and the kids were also like full on swing in their activities and stuff. And
Mm,
I had these like big assignments too. I had a big lit review due at the end of the term, and it was just yeah, it was a lot. I was just feeling burnt out with like that and like work, and then holidays came, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do it anything. And just like mostly chilled at home. We went out with the kids a few times to come to some activities. Went to go visit over at Melanie's parents, and yeah, just watched a lot of hockey. Watched college football. Unfortunately, my Ducks went down. Man, that was a hard day, man. I just like New Year's Day. I watched up until like the second quarter, like halfway through the second quarter, and I think they were down like 24-0. I'm like, this is not looking good. I was like, I can't start my year off like this. So I just like like honestly, man, like I turned off all my notifications on my phone. I like turned the TV off. I'm just gonna pretend this game didn't happen. And yeah, it was rough. And then the next day, like the Team Canada World Junior team lost in the quarterfinal. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not a good start to my year. It's like all my teams going down here.
Yeah, I was the game was on the big screen in Mexico and tons of people were watching and they're all Ohio fans. A lot of people when traveling to Cancun, a lot of the people are from the East Coast from the States and so
Mm.
a lot of them were cheering for Ohio and I think there was a few there was probably like one or two Oregon fans when Oregon scored the one touchdown that they ended up scoring or whatever it was. Yeah, there was
Um,
one sad
what?
applause.
Oh man, it's hard. It's hard, man, because I don't know. It's crazy because like Oregon beat them earlier in the year, and then Ohio State lost to Michigan, and then like Oregon won the Big Ten, like the entire conference, and they looked really good, and then just like came out flat, and Ohio State was prepared, and like everyone thought like Ohio State was going to shut down because it's so funny, like just college sports in general, just young athletes, and how things can change so quickly. But like
Hmm.
everyone was so ready to fire the head coach of Ohio State after they lost to Michigan. Everyone was like, I was watching all these like interviews on YouTube and on Twitter and of like people being interviewed in the street by these like news companies from like Columbus and like asking them about the football game, and everyone was like, I don't know what we got to do. This is like the worst thing ever. We've lost to them like 4 years in a row now, and everyone like people want to like fire the coach, and then all of a sudden they like come into the playoff and then they just like take out Oregon so like easily.
Well, you see that a lot in any sport. It's all recency bias. Everybody
Yeah,
is so quick to react, and
yeah.
uh, it's entirely based off of emotions, how people react. Like, I don't know, you see it in basketball quite often too. Like, people, some that's why they're called fans. They're fanatics, right? Like you are a fanatic for the Ducks.
Yeah.
Also, how bizarre is it that in Oregon they have a rivalry between the Ducks and Beavers?
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Got it out for animals.
Or the Oregon State Beavers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
But
welcome to the War Scouts football podcast.
that's right. Talk about college football playoff. That's all we do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Pigskin.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm doing good. I feel like so rested now and stuff, and like actually yeah, and, getting in the gym and stuff, and shooting and stuff too. So feel good.
That's good. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah. So, last episode we had our good friend Truman Soup on, and we had a big long conversation about his upcoming endeavors in terms of himself becoming a counselor and that sort of thing. And he ended up falling. What did I say? Name? I think it was like 30 votes or something like that.
Hmm.
It was really close. Like he was just short of becoming a counselor for his nation down south in Alberta, and it's very unfortunate. But for I think it was his first time actually running, and so that's huge.
Yeah, yeah. Truman's good dude. He does a lot of good work down in their communities there with basketball and just like really like advocacy for youth. Like
Mhm.
he's always out there and like you know like stepping up for kids, which is really awesome.
Yeah, and a part of me is kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say glad that he didn't get into council just because of the amount of time he can now focus on Great Horse basketball because that's such a huge program he has down there. And having 13 plus teams enters into these big tournaments is quite a job. It's quite a handful, and I think even just him running for council spread a lot of awareness about what needs to be done for the youth in their community. And I really hope that, his message speaks volumes to other communities because other reserves need things like sports programming. They need rec centers because those end up becoming the safe houses for a lot of Indigenous youth.
Yeah. Truman's like the Cleveland of the South.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout
out
out to
Cleve.
Cleve. Yeah.
Cleve, if you're not listening to these pods, man, I'm gonna be so upset. We shouted you out like 4 times in a row.
Yeah, we hype him up so much.
Yeah.
Well deserved though. I wish I was there for that interview because like it was such a good interview and like Truman is so he's funny and he's a good
Mhm.
storyteller. And yeah, I just like had like I just want to sit down with him one time and just like I have so many curiosities about like when he was playing at Augustana and they had such a stacked team there and like just to kind of hear like the ins and outs of like what that first season was like for him
Mhm.
with all like all the players that they had would be pretty cool to hear.
Yeah. It was really unfortunate that Darcy ended up going down with an injury, their starting point guard at that time. And then knowing that one of the top teams in ACAC they barely lost to was, I think it was Sate, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Sate ended up going on to nationals and doing quite well.
Yeah. Yep. Back in those days, like I think State had Eddie Richardson the third, who was like a big time scorer in ACAC. But yeah, really good, really strong team out of Augustana. And I watched them play like quite a few times because I was, excuse me, it's the bubbly. But yeah, I watched them play quite a few times because like I used to live downtown in like the Oliver area of Edmonton, and I would always like go to McEwen's games or I would take the bus over to Concordia where I was going to school and watch games. And this is before I was playing, so I would like take in as much ACAC basketball as I could at that time, and I watched them play several times that year, and they were loaded.
Yeah. And I think that was probably one of the best Augustana teams ever in the program history. I don't know if there was any teams that made it as far as they did after that, but I mean, when I was going to Augustana, we cracked playoffs and we were one of the top teams in playoff, and that was probably, I don't know, the furthest they've been in since Truman's time. So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that song you guys used to sing? I'm just kidding.
Oh, take my car and swerve. That one, no.
No, no. That's the new one you sing.
There's so many. If people haven't heard yet, Leangelo Ball has a new song out that is taking over the entire internet. There's so many memes going around of, that image of like the proud mother as she watches her kids open up the presents that she bought them, but instead it's Leangelo Ball when Lamelo and Lonzo talk about their little basketball games. Meanwhile, he's the hottest rapper of 2025 right now.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting? On Apple Music, when that song first came out, it was under his like n name as an artist. It was G3, but now the artist name is changed to Ball Brothers, which
What?
is yeah, I would like to know like the reasoning behind that. It's super interesting.
Do you think LeVar had a say in that?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. We went from G3 to, I don't know. I imagine LeVar had something to do with it and wanted the family to profit off of it, not just one person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the family business.
Yeah. 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 So moving on, the speaking of the world of basketball, the Toronto Raptors just recently had an Indigenous celebration night, and they unveiled a new Indigenous logo. And this was on January 2nd. And it was created by a Kitchener-based artist, Luke Swinson, a member of the Mississauga of Scugog. Is that how you say it?
Looks,
Uh,
yeah, looks right. Sounds right.
Scugog Island First Nations. The Mississaugas of Scugog Island are Anishinaabe and located in southern Ontario on Scugog Lake, just north of Oshawa, Ontario. And the logo was meant to focus on Indigenous joy with two figures in the middle, with the basketball. And I do actually have the logo here. If
Nice.
you're watching on YouTube, we have it here. Just squaw. All right. Hey, there it is. Can you see that?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, hey?
Yeah, it's really nice.
And you could
All the
buy merch
detail.
for that, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. In online, I looked and I could only find hoodies, so I don't know if there's anything else. Like I was trying to find like maybe t-shirts or like if there was hats or toques, but all I could come across was hoodies. Maybe I was just looking wrong. I don't know.
I mean, that's beautiful. Just with the
Hmm.
landscape, the sun in the background, be some like, and then obviously two indigenous peoples hooping it up, playing some res ball there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he also has a website. So if you're interested, it's lukeswinsonart.com. I'm also going to share that website there. We're just looking at it. And he has some amazing paintings. Just some, I think they're 11 by 8 paintings you can buy, or even larger formats. Um, there's a blue jay there. Yeah.
Cardinal.
There's,
There's a cardinal down there I was checking out earlier.
oh,
I
here
might
we
buy
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Anyone's looking for an early birthday or Christmas gift for me, I'm just kidding.
yeah, some amazing artwork. And it's not like I don't know, it's such soft art, if that makes any sense. It's not nothing's hard. There's such like soft transitions and the paintings, the colors. But you know what they say, art is very subjective. Art is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Yeah. Artists are like they're amazing because they like their attention to detail and like the way they like include like find little details into like their greater piece of work of whatever there is they're doing is just like when you look at it closely and like you can see like that meaning that they're putting into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that way. That's why I don't think I could ever be an artist. Like it's just
Yeah.
there's just
Same.
so much work involved. And yeah. Yeah, and then during the Indigenous Celebration Night, they also had an in-game presentation that was featured by a performance from Madison Noon, who's an Indigenous and member of the North Side crew. And then they had some drummers and singers and that sort of thing during the halftime, and it looked amazing. And there was a ton of Indigenous celebrities within Canada and the basketball world that are invited. Linklater was there. Just to name one.
Yeah, it's just-
We didn't get the invite. I think the Canada Post strike really might have lost our invite in the mail or something. I don't know, but you know that's okay. That's all
That's
right.
probably what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so if you do purchase any of the merch, the logo can be bought online. When you buy, 20% of the proceeds goes towards ENAGB Youth Agency and the MLSE Foundation. So when you make that purchase, you just know that portion of it is going to benefit some youth, which is really huge.
Yeah, their event looked really well done, and
Hmm.
you know, just doing things the right way. And there's, yeah, we know that there is good people working there, and organizing these events. So it's always great to see.
That way.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah,
youth,
so yeah, speaking of youth, there is a basketball player over at Amiskwaci Academy in Edmonton, Stephanie Olson, who plays for the senior girls basketball team at Amiskwaci, has been on a heater with scoring, just really unbelievable. In the first game of their season, she scored 50 points in their opening game and then followed it up with 18 and 32 points. So if you want to check out her Instagram page, she's on Instagram. Mike's got the photos up right now from our Instagram page, 32 points, but like they got such nice jerseys. Look at that, this like syllabics on there. Like, oh man, that's awesome. And yeah, they're doing really well. Like they have a good athletics program there going right now, and yeah, looking really good for them.
yeah, and shout out to the coaches at Amiskwaci. They're doing such great work with the kids, and they've been, just from what I've seen on Instagram, they've got reached out to a bunch of sponsors, and a bunch of people came out and were able to support the team and provide them with gear, and all the kids got shoes and that sort of thing. And yeah, if you're able to do that, it builds so much pride in the program, and the kids, that buy-in from the kids is just so huge. And they're actually seeing some, some success out of it as well. Winning a game 63 to 18.
That's crazy.
I don't think we've ever had a victory that
Yeah,
wide of margin when we were coaching at a Amiskwaci at one point.
yeah. We might have been on the other side of that a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that yeah, it's so great to hear and like the yeah, there's so much support at the school for athletics there. And can you imagine like being in high school and getting like team shoes, just like everyone on your team has the same shoes, and yeah, that's such a great experience for those kids.
Hate to break it to you, name, but when I was at Jasper Place, we all got team shoes.
This JP, come on. Now you guys got everything. Like
Yeah. It's so funny when I was thinking about going to JP. When I went my grade 11 year, the year prior, they actually flew down to Houston for a basketball tournament, and they went and played in Houston. And so I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool. Like I can't wait to see where we're going to go." And this is obviously me being spoiled. I was like, "Oh man, where are we going to go? Get our tournament thing?" We went to uh all Canada. So we went to Kamloops, and then we went to West Vancouver or North Vancouver. And I was like, oh man, I really wanted to go to the States, but you know, just
yeah,
being a spoiled dude. That's all.
can't have it all.
Can't
Yeah.
have it all, exactly.
Yeah. And then you came to Kelowna and didn't you also go to Sugar Bowl?
Yep, we went to Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun tournament too.
Yeah. And it's cool that it's over Christmas break,
Mm-hmm.
like during the week. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we were coming back from the Sugar Bowl, and my birthday is December 30th. And so when we were coming back, I was turning 18, and at that time, uh, if you're from Samson, you got what's called 18 money. So there was a trust fund that was saved up for members, and so when I turned 18, my dad was waiting me at Bear Hills truck stop, and so we had to pull over the team bus, and I hopped off, and my dad picked me up, and I had to tell Rick Stanley, I was like, I'm sorry, like my dad needs to pick me up. We gotta go get this stuff done. And then he was like, yeah, no problem.
That's when you got old red.
Yeah, that's when I got my car. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they're the old Red Rocket there.
Red Rocket.
Yeah,
Treated you well. Treated you well.
exactly. In other news, the Warriors hosted Native American Heritage Night, which was held on January 5th in partnership with the Lindy Waters the Third Foundation. Those in attendance got to have a conversation with Lindy, Lauren K. Waters, film director, executive director of Lindy Waters III Foundation, and the owner of Waters Media, an Indigenous-owned production company and casting company, as well as Tommy Orange, author and novelist, and David Tellis, filmmaker and director. At the game, Phil Jordan was honored. Oh, sorry, that's separate. But those in attendance were able to have that conversation with those individuals. Is that correct? Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. They held it before the game, so they had like a big setup in the arena,
Oh,
and then they
cool.
had like a panel conversation. So all these like people like Lindy, Lauren, Tommy, and David were like it was like a panel conversation. People got to ask them questions, and yeah, I was like looking at this list of people on the panel. It's like super impressive because he's like there's yeah, there's like filmmakers and like author and novelist like doing like really like big work out there, and it was yeah pretty cool. And then at the game they did more stuff.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, at the game, Phil Jordan was honored by the Golden State Warriors with the Golden State Warriors Impact Award. Phil was a descendant of the Nomlaki and the Wailaki tribes, and members of Phil's families were on site to accept the award on behalf of the family. And Phil himself, he was a 6'10" center, played 7 seasons in the NBA from 1956 to 1963 for New York, Detroit, Cincinnati, and St. Louis, where he averaged 10.9 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.4 assists over his career. And name did the research, folks, because he
Yeah,
is the Indigenous rookie cards himself. And his 1957-58 Topps number 55 rookie card sells on eBay for about, at most, $44, 22 to $44 range.
yeah,
That's pretty
you
cool.
can. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can find one for that price. And I forgot to include in the notes that he's the first Native American in the NBA.
No way.
Yeah, that's why they
Oh,
honored him. Yeah,
okay. That's good to know.
yeah, yeah.
Wait,
So
Thorpe wasn't in the NBA?
probably could have been.
Thorpe?
He
I
he
think
lettered he lettered
Jim,
in basketball.
yeah,
Yeah,
he quite literally one of the greatest athletes ever. Did
yeah.
everything.
Did
Um,
everything.
but
Was
yeah,
not
okay.
treated well.
No, no, not at all. Um, okay, so his 1957. Are you are you gonna collect NBA Indigenous rookie cards?
I don't know. I might get this one though, because like I thought it was pretty cool. Like he's the first Native American in the NBA, and his rookie card's really affordable. It's like it's almost 70 years old, and it's pretty cheap. Like 22 to $44
Yeah.
for a card that old is especially in basketball because like basketball is with vintage is really expensive. So this is like a fairly cheap card for that time period.
Hmm. And then depending on its quality or PSA grade, however you say it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing was he died really young too. He was like 31 when he died.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see what happened, but he was very young when he passed away. And yeah, his best season is statistically anyway, he averaged like 14 points and like 6.8 rebounds a game or something like that. So he was like an impact player out there.
Wow. Yeah, that's really really cool. And like it's so important to get that acknowledged, right? And I just wonder what kind of adversity he faced, being an indigenous person during that time as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, name, it is the new year, 2025. We are going into the REZ Ball tournament circuit that's coming up here. We have a lot of tournaments coming up. One coming up this weekend. If you're listening to this, we'll probably release this on Saturday, name. So
Oh, it's up to you. Up to you. We can
happening
do it tomorrow if you want.
happening right now is the Stanley Big Plume uh, Memorial Tournament in Sutina. It's one of the largest tournaments. We mentioned it before on the pod, and we've had the organizer himself, Waylon Big Plume. We've had him on the podcast before, just talking about this sort of the hard work that goes into organizing these tournaments. And, shout out to him this weekend. I know he's going to be a busy, busy person. We did invite him on to come on and talk, but unfortunately, he's has some family health stuff right now, and so sending prayers to him and his family, and hopefully everything all works out. Um, yeah, and then in February we have two other tournaments coming up, and then March is a big, big month as well, for sure.
Yeah. And just like keeping up with all like the Facebook posts from that group for that tournament. And going back to that organizational piece, when you're like 2 days out and you got teams pulling out, you're kind of scrambling to
Hmm.
try get things, moving again, and making sure that people are getting enough games, and because you really got to think about like people's travel and their accommodations and those kinds of things. Like you want people to come and be at your tournament and have a good experience, and also get like a good amount of basketball for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I just can't imagine the stress of then having to, when a team drops out, then having to do a redraw. Because I know there's a redraw that was happening for the hockey side. So
Mhm.
for this tournament, there's three tournaments happening, uh, three different sports happening. There's basketball, hockey, and then there's a volleyball tournament, I believe, is happening. Um, and so, basketball is a smaller scale. Hockey is a much larger scale, especially in Canada. Um, I don't know how many hockey teams there are, but there is 12 teams for the women's, and then 14 teams for the men's for basketball, which is still a lot of teams. You're dealing with, what is that, 26 teams. So you're gonna have to organize. Oh, I'm gonna do the math here. I can't see the draws. There's 23 games for the women's. Oh, did I mix it up? There's 14 teams for the women's side, which means there's 26 games, and then there's 12 teams for the men's, and then there's 22 games.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of games to be
Yeah.
able to organize and make sure you have scorekeepers and yeah,
Refs,
refs. Yep.
other volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Big undertaking.
Yeah. But I will say, name, I am I'm a player. I'm going down this weekend. I'm gonna go play for ENBA, representing Late Allen Ross with the NBA, and we have a fairly decent team. In the rules, it states that you have to pay uh, a $20 fine if you get a tech. So this guy is not gonna talk at all. That's my New Year's resolution. Don't talk to refs.
Can we take wagers on that? Yeah, I was hoping to go too, because yeah, Dusty texted me again like a few days ago. He's like, "Are you sure you can't make it?" And I was like, "I can't come because I'm heading to Revelstoke this weekend."
Hmm.
Yep,
You're all over the place all the time.
yep, yep. Yeah, Augie's got hockey there.
Yeah. If you're around, so we'll release this Saturday. If you're around this weekend, there is going to be good basketball. For the men's side, I think there's a few American teams. We have a team from Winnipeg, some teams from obviously in the Blood Tribe area down south, and then I don't think we actually have a BC team for this tournament.
Yeah, not
Uh,
as far as I can tell, or just offhand.
Yeah, I think there was a Vancouver team that was originally entered, but that was the one team that ended up dropping out, and they were replaced with a team name of No Name.
Not
Uh,
me.
yeah, not NAIM, it's NAME. No Name. So It'll be interesting. We play Colin Bird's team first game Friday at 8:30, and then if we win that, we play 12:45 on Saturday. So if you're around, come out and watch. It's at the Sutina Sportsplex. It's a massive facility. It's a beautiful facility, and it should be a good time.
Yeah, I imagine Waylon will be going live on Facebook too with all these games, as he usually does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all you have to do on Facebook is search up Stanley Big Plume Memorial, and it should be on there.
You're getting tested first game right away, hey? Just
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's
Collins
gonna be a
team.
tough game. Colin's team is always really good. I've had a chance to play alongside them, and yeah, they're a really solid team. A lot of those guys played ACAC, played really high level basketball. They're really smart players, and then they also have some young guys who played high school who are really good as well. So yeah, it'll be a tough game for sure.
Think about like Colin and those guys, like they just like they play together so much. They know each other's tendencies, habits. They just mesh so well together. They've been playing ball together so long, and they're really strong all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Our team, we're definitely underdogs going into that game. It'll be,
Oh, you
it'll
got
be.
some ballers though.
Yeah, we picked up some guys from Edmonton, so we should hopefully put up a fight for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and then on the women's side, to be honest, I don't know a whole lot, but I know that the Creefoot team is always a really strong team. That's a team that has a ton of ACAC players, former ACAC players, and it's a mix of Cree Indigenous women and then Blackfoot Indigenous women. So yeah, that team is usually pretty good. And then um, I don't know if Lady Ballers was the team that ended up winning it last year. And so they have a bye first game. They play Saturday morning. And that might be the team from the States. Could be
yeah.
them
And
or Burning Feather.
I think that was like Plumlee's team. Was that? What's her name again?
Jenna Plumley, I
Jenna.
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So some really solid teams on the women's side. I'm actually kind of shocked that this might be the first time that there's more women's teams than there are men's.
yeah. It's good though. It's good.
Yeah, that's huge. That's great. And then besides the Sutuna tournament in February, the all native basketball tournament is going to be happening from February 8th to the 15th. That's happening in Prince George, I believe. And then the Red Pheasant Winter Fest is happening February 14th to the 16th. And shout out to Mike Tanton, who is going to be organizing that one. And that should be a fun tournament. They are doing something similar to the Stanley Memorial, where they have hockey going on as well. And I think it's volleyball as well,
Hmm.
and basketball too. So that's a that one is a community tournament, so you have to play for your nation. And so we got the invite from Musquecheese, and I'm hoping we're able to put the team together and enter because that'd be such a fun tournament to be involved with. Because everything would be pretty much a even playing field. There's no stacked teams or anything like that, I don't imagine. So it should be fun. Should be a good one.
Yeah, you were trying to get me a Samson card for that one.
We still can.
Yeah.
We still
Oh,
can.
yeah. Augie's birthday weekend. I can't go.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah,
I was hoping to forge a Samson Cree Nation membership card for name.
yeah.
Yeah. And then in March, March 16th to the 18th is the Junior All Native Basketball Tournament happening in Kelowna, British Columbia. Um, so that one actually isn't in Prince George.
Nope.
They're able to move the tournament, which is pretty cool. Bigger space, bigger venue, more hotel rooms. Hey, name.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
smokes.
yeah. Yeah, Junior All Native like rotates around every year. So it was here 3 years ago, I think, or maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember, but they had like the opening ceremonies at UBCO, and then they just play in all the high school gyms because it's spring break here during that time. So
Hmm.
everything just kind of shut down, and yeah, it's really good basketball.
Awesome. And then March 28th to 30th is in Merritt, BC is the name. You're gonna have to pronounce this one.
The
The
Clemchin Warriors. That's the old,
Clemchin Warriors Tournament.
yeah, that's the old Lytton tournament.
Oh, is that right?
That's yeah, that's my sources tell me that's when it's happening.
No way.
I asked for a poster, but I didn't get one, so that's the date I was given for the old Lytton tournament, but it's in Merritt now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah,
the old bed and breakfast at Spencer's Bridge is still up and running. I don't know if it is.
yeah. That's far from there though. You're gonna have to stay right in Merritt.
Oh, right, Merritt. Oh,
Yeah,
duh. Okay.
yeah. I mean, you probably could. It'd be like 45-minute drive or something to Merritt if you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You tell me, name. Can we just stay at your house and then we'll
Yeah,
go?
I'm actually gonna be in Alberta that weekend, so I can't make it that one either. Let's leave you the keys.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding, man. We're Augie's got a hockey tournament in well, Native Provincials is the weekend after that. So
Oh,
we're gonna
right.
go visit my parents. We're gonna go visit in Alberta, like going up north and then go back to Edmonton for Augie's hockey tournament.
You're going up the sticks. I see.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's old
Sounds good.
old stomping grounds.
Yeah. And then sometime in March, I imagine, or April is the Kamloopa Invitational. I think it's usually like second weekend in April. I could be wrong. But that's in Kamloops, and that's another big tournament. That is something to look forward to. Um, I'm hoping to attend, you know, three of these five. I don't think Crees are allowed at the All Native Basketball Tournament, so I won't be attending that one, unfortunately. um,
We can go hang out though.
yeah, we can go hang out. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Red Pheasant Tournament, Clemchin Warriors Tournament, and Kamloops. Hopefully, we can attend those for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
should be exciting.
I'm hoping I can come to Kamloops this year. If I am going to go to a tournament, I'm hoping that's the one I can make it to.
You heard it
Yeah,
here first, folks. Name just announced. He's getting ready.
yeah. Have a lot of time. Just follow like a program of periodization where I'm, peaking right at the time of Kamloops.
Just 3 months away.
Yeah,
4 months away.
yeah,
Like you're training for a marathon.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, cool.
yeah.
While we wait for Mike, I just want to say shout out to our socials. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube page at War Scouts Pod, and don't forget to follow us on any podcast and give us a like and a listen and subscribe. Would be
Yeah.
greatly appreciated.
Yeah, follow Mike's new Instagram, Michael_Swampy,
Mm-hmm.
and my new Instagram at War Scout name. Here's some old Unk stories.
Yeah, that's right. Just while we're waiting, just want to give a shout out to Andrew Parker, the one and only, pictured here
AGP.
with name Cardinal,
No,
the North Side legend.
that's a throwback.
Come with us as we peruse names, or scout name, Instagram.
And yeah, there's Lyle Tutusa standing with the gray shorts on. And then next to him, we're kind of looking at like towards the camera's direction. That's Aaron Cardinal, two Edmonton basketball legends right there. Well, this is our old Red Storm team. Dusty, who runs the ENBA team, has his mobilized company. He's sitting down. That's a young Dusty right there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a young Dusty.
and Adrian Curtis right there,
Yeah,
right in
yeah,
front.
yeah. We had a squad. Like we could hold our own. We played in Div 1. We could hold our own there. Oh, that's from World Indigenous Basketball Challenge. We were playing Tonga.
Name just dominating some Tonga guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently that guy played Div 1 NCAA.
Really?
Yeah. That's what everyone was saying. Couldn't guard me. Cha.
Hey, there's Mike
Yeah.
Tanton.
How's it going, brother?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
well.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, glad you could be here. You got some stuff going on. Catch us up.
You know what? I always try to keep busy with something, right? The idle hands are the devil's hands or whatever that quote is, man. I try to stay as busy as possible and stuff. So um, trying to get a few things going on basketball wise. Obviously, back here, we this upcoming weekend is our junior division Living Skies Indigenous Basketball League provincial championships is coming up. So we got that coming up. Another thing that we got going on is uh, working with Red Pheasant First Nation. They host their Winterfest. Huge celebration that they host, and they have a hockey, volleyball, and basketball tournament coming up. So that's an invitation only type tournament where they invite people. There's actually no entry fee for the teams that are invited, and first place is 5,000 in jackets. So it's starting to be one of those big tournaments that people are looking at a little bit more on the circuit and stuff. And you know, I enjoyed working with Red Pheasant. Hats off to Chief and Council for stepping up and just hosting such an incredible celebration, right? And when they can do those kind of things, and we can get our people together to enjoy sport and enjoy um, you know interaction and just hanging out, that's always a win. So excited about what's going on with that too. So always got some things on the go, that's for sure.
Yeah, Name, are you sure you can't make it out to Red Pheasant? I tried to convince Name to come out, and I was gonna forge him a membership card for Samson or for Moscow Cheese and get him to play on the team, but he said he can't make it.
I can't go. I can't go.
It, it
It's
would have
my
been nice
son's
to have
birthday.
the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, family first, absolutely.
Yep.
Right here, this is
Well,
the tournament, right? The poster right here.
yes. Yeah, that's it. They're right there exactly and stuff. They are looking to expand a little bit. We're looking at potentially a 20-team tournament this time around, and they want to continue to have it grow and stuff, right? So, like I said, I'm excited that Red Pheasant is doing this. They got Vinny. Vinny's always in there running around, getting everything ready for everybody and stuff. And I appreciate the hospitality that they provide with so many people coming from so many different nations to that community. Just happy about what they're doing and how they're hosting everybody. It's always a good feeling when you go to a tournament and you get treated good, whether it's win or lose, and you have a good time at those tournaments, right? And those are usually the ones that you want to continue to come back, and those are the ones that you always talk about. You tell people about those ones and the experiences that you've had and that kind of thing, right? So like I said, hopefully maybe we can look at getting it done next year and get you boys out here for whether we end up coming out, you guys come out and do a podcast and spend some time there for the weekend, or something along those lines and whatnot. I'll absolutely talk to Chief and Council and see if we can get you guys out there. I just think it's an incredible experience, and anytime that they can highlight the incredible things that any community is doing, I think it's a positive thing, right?
Mm-hmm. That way. And if we have any new listeners, we actually had Mike on in previous episodes, and we talked a little bit about just the amount of work that goes into organizing these types of things. And we brought up that Mike was doing it all. He was wiping down floors, mopping down areas. He was reffing. He was also announcing some games, commentating. So it's going to be a fun time, and Mike's going to be all over the place. I know it.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember that. I just remember that last year we were watching it on the live stream and we just saw you pouring that Pepsi on the floor over by or that Coke or whatever it was by that room, so all that steam wouldn't come out.
Yeah, I used a Coke because I didn't want to waste the Pepsi. right? We wanted to
Yeah.
keep that for everybody and stuff,
Yeah.
and nobody was taking the Coke. So I used Coke to try and get the floor a little bit sticky in that area, and it worked in the interim and stuff. But I've been talking with the other organizers and stuff about a few things to help kind of remedy that, so we don't have that same issue, right? You always want to be cautious of how the floor is when you have players. Especially for someone my age and stuff, I don't heal like I used to. So getting out there and trying to play is something I do as minimal as possible, and I enjoy the organizing aspect of things now too, right? Also, like you said, Michael, I like to hop on the live stream sometimes and talk a little bit of trash and share a little bit of insight to some of the game and have some fun, and it's similar to what you guys do on here. You guys have fun when you guys are out here on this podcast and stuff, and you guys are doing a great thing, right? So when you have fun, it never seems like work, and that's always a great thing, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Is it IOPS that streams that for you guys? Is that who they've hired, or do they have their own live stream?
So they had IOPS doing it previously. I don't know if IOPS is back this year or not. They may or may not be having a live stream. I haven't talked to them about that aspect of things. They have asked us to make sure that we are trying to update the scores and a few things like that as quickly as possible. So we'll be looking at doing some of that kind of stuff and getting scores posted online and a few things like that. As they continue to grow, they continue to build on different things and stuff, and they're talking about potentially building out a website and stuff, and that may get the live streaming back on and that kind of thing. So like I said, I'm just looking forward to seeing, how it is when you go to these tournaments and stuff. You see faces and stuff you haven't seen for a while, and it just brings a smile to your face, right? It brings back memories. And you get in little visits and chats with people and stuff like that, and that's what this is all about. And it's always been about that, right? There's the competition aspect, but there's also the social aspect and stuff. It's the same type of thing for dancers that go to the powwow and that kind of thing, right? They go there to dance and do their thing, but they also go there for the social aspect, and that's something that's huge in our community. Having that basketball community come out and show support for Red Pheasant and this tournament and participate is always awesome to see. So I love being around the game as much as possible, and when I can reminisce with some people and they can tell me, oh, they thought I used to be deadly, and I can just reminisce myself, yeah, it makes me feel real good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was wondering if there was going to be a live stream, because I was wondering if there was going to be a Mike Tanton and Cal Crazy Legs combo announcers there.
Well, I'm hoping so. Like I said, I haven't talked to them about that kind of stuff. They just called me and said, "Hey, can you take over running everything, all the aspects of it?" Because last time it was just more of certain parts of the basketball tournament. And I said, "Yeah, whatever you guys need, like whatever we can help with, we want to be a part of it and stuff like that." So
Yeah. And like that community aspect of it that you were speaking to is just something that keeps you coming back to tournaments. Like I haven't been at a tournament in like 5 years, so like for me to go to a tournament right now and like see all the guys like we used to play against and like even used to team up with sometimes, that'd be so good to, like, I talked to some of my old buddies from southern Alberta and stuff, and I haven't seen them, so it'd be really good to go and catch up.
yeah, the Kainai boys are coming back, the defending champions. So they want to make sure that they come and represent again and stuff. And we got a couple Team 6 guys coming for sure. And we got one of the Browning teams is coming too. So should be a good show and stuff, right? Like again, here in Saskatchewan, our Indigenous basketball is continuing to grow. We're a little bit further behind than some of the Alberta communities. But it's continuing to move forward, and that's something that's exciting for me to see, especially with the programs and stuff that I run for a lot of the younger kids. When I know that they have a pathway to continue their love of the game and their joy of the game and stuff after they're done playing club ball or going to Indigenous games or some of these other things, it's exciting for these young kids to look forward to that, right? And I know it was never for me about making money at the tournaments. Yes, we want to win and you win some prize money. It was more about those jackets, right? Those jackets, and then wearing those jackets to the next couple tournaments, and everybody's looking. You know they're
Yep.
looking, right? So it was always awesome in that aspect, right? And that was the part of growing up and sharing that love of this game and stuff, and just kind of repping, right?
Yeah, and just speaking of like the prize money for that tournament, like and the jackets, but like $5,000 for a basketball tournament, like a native basketball tournament, that's huge money. Like when I'm thinking back and like, times we've, won money, it's like first prize is like $2,500, like $3,000 is probably the most that you saw. But like if you can grow it to like even anywhere near where hockey tournament money is, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll take a little bit more time. The more people that we get involved, though, and the more people that start reaching out, I think the good part of that is that you'll start to, because it's invitation only, you'll start to select some of the top teams from all over, right? There's always a little bit of a mix. There's some teams that are kind of starting out and are a little bit newer to the circuit and wanting to get out. But when you have teams coming like Kai and I that have won it and stuff, and some of those other groups, it starts to bring that level of competition to a higher level, and that's what you want to see. And when you can do that, and then people just start talking about it just gets a name for itself, right? And for it to be starting, like you said, at that 5,000, I agree. Like most tournaments, the most we ever seen, with the exception of going to the States. There was a couple big ones in like Montana and stuff like that around Scobie and some of that were close to 10,000. But
Wow.
again, those are open tournaments. Those weren't indigenous tournaments, right? And so seeing these ones already at 5,000, that's huge.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be an amazing time and an awesome tournament. And like you said, it's like prize money obviously matters a bit. Doesn't matter to my wife. I always tell my wife it's like, oh, but it's 5,000. It's like she doesn't care. We ended up breaking even if we win anyways. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like if you can get any merch involved with that, that's huge. That's a huge plus as well.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes that's the only thing you come home with, even if you win.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
memories and stories.
Yeah,
I'll keep some of those stories for not online, which was the good thing about why there wasn't cell phones back then either.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
always appreciate you coming on, Mike, and thanks for taking time out of your day just to come and talk a little bit about the tournaments that are coming up because it's the beginning of the year and like we were just saying, it's the start of the REZ tourney circuit for Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC as well. So yeah, it's going to be a fun year, and I'm excited.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Happy New Year's to you and to all your listeners. Appreciate what you guys are doing and continue to push those limits, my guys. Appreciate you guys big time. All right.
All right,
Hi,
we
hi.
appreciate you. All right. Thanks a
take
lot,
care.
Mike. Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah.